Okay, tutorial section. I'm gonna show you the whole thing, how to make it as fast as possible. So first, Accio, you just Accio and that's fine. With the pulso, you change a little bit. I'm gonna load because the tutorial is gonna repeat. So after black, you take out the wand and use left to change the targets. You push those two chairs and this one little table with the pulso. Now we're gonna have a good setup. My game is lagging for some reason. I'm gonna save just in case on this day. So if I aim, I should be aiming on the table. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes Harry is gonna aim at this. I'm gonna try to simulate that. So sometimes what happens is, Harry is gonna trigger on this one. But it's better if he triggers on this table. So right away we take right and the pulso. Now we tap right once and again for Harry to trigger this clock, I guess. Move a little bit so the camera change and it's gonna move slightly. We go behind it and use Accio, the pulso I mean. So we move the clock and the table as much as possible. If you're fortunate, it's gonna go all the way to the end. So once again, the pulso, right, go away a little, Accio, with the pulso it. We now go to the wall, the pulso, this clock, and if we're lucky, that's enough. But sometimes we need a little bit of pushing. Maybe she's gonna help. We just were away by like few pixels, I think. So once again, move this. So we also move the lamp. If we're fortunate, we're gonna move this clock and the table. We go to the side, and usually this table is one more that we need, and it should be fine. So even black doesn't have to cast. Okay, that's Ginny. We're gonna go to Hermione. There isn't much, there's practically nothing to talk about. But there's a cooldown between you can do reparos. It might seem weird when you're starting to cast on it, but there's just an extra cooldown for some reason. So we use reparo, and I'm holding circle, and Harry starts casting after quite a while. So you can just cast on, start casting on the furniture and on the plates right away, and Harry's gonna get the cooldown right. So, and if it starts to light up, then the cooldown is off, so you can actually continue. You should be around the same time when Hermione uses first reparo and fixes one of the plates. As you could have seen, I leave her the closest plate, but it doesn't really matter. She has the range for everything. So once again, because it might seem weird that repair doesn't work, like I'm gonna cast it on now and it didn't work, there's just a cooldown you cannot avoid really. We leave her this plate, for example. If you time it right, you're gonna be about the perfect time when it lights up. Now these two casts were a good example of it. Okay, now Ron. With Ron there's actually something that you can do. So we talk to Ron. And we're gonna cast Wingardium Leviosa. Normally it's kinda annoying, but there's a way to fix it and make it a little bit faster. I'm gonna save. So normally you just cast X and triangle and wait a little, because if you start right away, the casts are gonna conflict each other and game doesn't know what you actually want. We start here. So for example, cast Wingardium Leviosa, let go and start casting it again and again and again and again, and I cannot do anything. I have to wait like a second and a half when Harry can cast again, and it can be quite annoying. You have to wait a little bit, like a second and a half between each cast. But there's a way to solve this and make it faster. So we just take the wand out and off, and we can cast right away because this cooldown doesn't exist anymore. And it's practically the case in all the Wingardium Leviosa sections, so you can use this tactic to help you a little bit. Of course, you can let go of the spell a little bit earlier. About this, you have to be worried about Ron here. He can block the close. And that's about it for the run. Not very complicated, but extra errors. Now Fred and George section, it's even easier, so don't worry. You go here, go up. Here. There's a cinematic. I'm gonna save before it ends because a creature might behave a little bit differently. So save and we go down. We move to the side and the pulse on this table. Now we're gonna depulse the chair. Go like go between those, and there's enough gap for you to move without having any problems. So we go down. Thing to remember: I start casting Wingardium Leviosa because I was holding X too quickly. So you have to let go of the X before you start casting. So let go, take a word out, and depulse. Now we go. I would recommend to stick to the wall when casting on it. Sometimes it can happen that you need an extra second or two to go between those. Here it shouldn't be a problem because this table doesn't hit you if the creature casts. If you want to be safe and not worry about it, you can cast Wingardium Leviosa and move the table, move this like here. It shouldn't stop us much. Oh, it actually did. But Wingardium Leviosa is a little bit safer, but the Buzo is enough. Of course, when the furniture is moving and Harry hits it, there's like the animation, so you can even wait a little bit here to make it a little bit faster. Go between here, and that's all for the tutorial section.